Oh, yeah, our great friends at Unique Wrought Iron, of course, Jazz and Alan, the team there, and they're getting right behind the My Room telethon too. I can tell you there's some exciting news to tell you about that, but always exciting news at Unique Wrought Iron. So check them out online.
TJ, all about preliminary finals, a deep dive today and this morning. And while they haven't been the best finals, we've seen some absolute rippers over the years. I want to go back to 2016, the emotion of the GWS and the Western Bulldogs final, just to see that this team got through. No one thought it could happen. Had a lot of injuries, had to travel. They beat West Coast in the first week. And when it got to this point, you thought, can they? The Giants, I think this was the best side we've ever seen in terms of the Giants in their history. And the Dogs got the job done. Clay Smith kicked 4 goals, I think. And then this was the sealer bill. And I've never been so excited, to be honest, for another team to go on and make a grand final. And then they beat Sydney the week after. So an outstanding final, Damo, which one I'll never forget.
Yeah, one that always comes into mind a lot when we talk about prelim finals. 87 out at Waverley, the infamous Jim Steins running across the mark for Gary Buckenara's shot at goal. Although I don't know what we're watching there. This is the Trent Crode of 2001, is it? Okay, yeah. So, well, that long bomb went from Trent Crode and it just missed. Messinen got through to the grand final that particular year, obviously, Lordo, and you weren't able to repeat, though, what you had done the previous year. But this is the one I was referring to before.
There we go.
Was about 50 metres out from goal and was positioning the ball to probably have a torpedo shot at goal, Bill, wasn't he? But then was given the 15 metres when Jimmy Steins went across the mark, and then, as he did, still a good kick, and it went straight through, and that was that put them into the grand final. They weren't able to win the grand final against Carlton the following week, but it left Melbourne just shattered.
Well, the Kennett curse is something that was part of the AFL landscape for quite some time. It came on the back of the 2008 grand final when Jeff Kennett said...
What they don't have?
No, he said what they don't have, I think, is the quality of some of our players. They don't have the psychological drive we have. We've beaten Geelong when it matters. Now, after that, the Geelong players made a bit of a secret pact that they would never, ever, ever lose to Hawthorn again, and that carried them through until 2013, essentially. And I don't think there was anyone happier than Jeffrey Kennett when that curse was finally broken. And I would like to say it stopped him from making outlandish statements, but I think it only encouraged him.
Exactly right. I think Paul Chapman might have had a bit to do with that too. He might have said something. The Ablets, when we talk prelim finals, the Ablett. This was unbelievable, of course. Let it go. Well done there to Tudor. It goes over the top of Mick Martin. Poor old Mick into the goal square here. Gazza goes back, goes bang. The Cats are into the grand final. Well done, Gaz. Oh, there he is, the thinker. And then, of course, have a look at this junior. Gary Ablett Jr. takes it out of the ruck. Bang around the corner. Very important goal, that, because it put him 11 points up with about 8 minutes to go. Well done, senior, and well done, junior.
Hey, Kane, I want to throw to you. I heard you on radio during the week. In terms of Gavin Wanganeen, tell us through what his first half was like compared to his second half.
Hadn't touched the footy, Lordo, so we've come in at half-time 2004 prelim in happier times for Port Adelaide. But when did you ever see him cop a spray from the coach? Well, never. This was the only time. He comes out in the second half, and these are 2 big goals late in the fourth quarter in such a close game. So that's one from 55. And then this one, I mean, who does this? Who can kick a drop punt from there and that go through? Look at the score there. That put them 6 points up, and Port Adelaide hang on by 6 to win through to their first grand final and win the next week. What a superstar.
Oh, there he is, Kane.
Go, Kane.
Kane.
Hey, people still ask whether Mason Cox will make it as an AFL player. I'd have to say he's already made it. When he did this in a preliminary final against the Tigers, he destroyed probably the best defence we've seen in the last decade, possibly 15 years. He was brilliant. His timing was outstanding. Have a look at the timing of this. Just taking big marks, going back.
Look at
he's very, very happy with himself, Mason. But on the biggest stage, he was able to do this. He was very good in the grand final as well after half-time the next week. But certainly Mason Cox made it that night.
Hey, Damo, that vision that was accidentally played earlier, I just wanted to play 2001 grand final. But this was just for me, a moment for me where I was suspended, and I'll never forget the pressure I was under. I didn't want to cop the Dennis Pagan type spray that Swass and Archer cop when they were suspended. But
what happened here?
This kick, Crow bangs it Bill, would have put him in front with minutes to go. And luckily, Paul Barnard went down the other end, kicked the sealer. And the relief for me to know that I hadn't cost my team a potential grand final berth, that one sat with me forever, Damo.
Yeah, I can imagine the feelings, Lordo. You got through. There was relief also at play, wasn't there, for Mick Malthouse personally in 2011 preliminary final. His second last match as Collingwood coach. It was a dramatic turn of events. Buddy Franklin did this, and at that stage, that put Hawthorn up, and everyone thought, well, OK, Hawthorn's going to get through. But then there was the Luke Ball goal late in the piece. An unlikely goal kicker, it must be said, at that point of time. And yeah, the emotions attached with still 3 minutes to go. Daisy Thomas did that on Silverioli. Very, very crucial part of that particular game, and that sealed the result effectively for the Pies. And then on the siren, you had those scenes there. Happy times for Eddie. And then Mick, obviously, very emotional, getting back to a back-to-back grand final showing, and his last game the following week.
Well, let's stay with Collingwood for the moment, because Peter Daicos kicked, 549 goals in his career. But this one in 1981, he says, is his greatest. He bypasses Nankervis. Basically, Nankervis, he essentially handballs to himself, then has a ping for goal and puts it straight through. And that is just Daicos magic at its absolute best. And as I said, he says that that particular goal is probably the best of his career.
That is best.
That's what he says.
You watch Daicos highlights all day, couldn't you?
Yep.
TJ, probably didn't have the moments this year or the games, but Western Bulldogs and Melbourne, what a great grand final we're going to have, I think, with two phenomenal performances.